Hey guys, it's Heather here, and today we're going to be talking about, that's right, to 3-star or 1-star. There is no 2. We're talking about the PentaLavaLoon Town Hall 9 attack, sometimes called the PentaLaloon, PentaLavaLoon, whatever you want to call it. It's a pretty dang sweet attack that you can do very early on in Town Hall 9 and take out some really tough Town Hall 9 bases. Now this is a much more difficult 3-star on max bases than it was before the second air sweeper and the dark spells. Before that update, this was my recommended go-to attack because within 2 upgrades, you had a maxed PentaLavaLoon army as a baby Town Hall 9 that could easily take out max Town Hall 9s. But now with that update, things have gotten a little bit more difficult. It's still possible, and you can definitely completely wreck those mid and lower Town Hall 9s, but it's a bit more difficult to do this against those max Town Hall 9s. That update changed this attack in some major ways. First, of course, there is the second sweeper, which means there is no sweeper blind. Usually we have a sweeper covering both sides, all areas of the base. And then second was the dark spells. Now what's different about that is because of the dark spells, because of poison, you are guaranteed likely to have a dragon in the clan castle to be facing. And so that changes this up a little bit because a dragon flying out there against your loons and expecting to take that out with some lava pups likely isn't going to happen. Okay, so like I said, this will definitely star those low to mid Town Hall 9s that you're going to be matched up against when you have the troop composition for this. And it's also got a 3-star max Town Hall 9s who have a base design that's really optimal for this type of attack. And it will definitely take out those rush Town Hall 10s too, who rush to get their Inferno Towers. So this is an attack that's also an option when you're facing those rushed clans. This attack relies heavily on your balloons getting to the air defenses rather quickly, or the hounds won't last long enough to tank where they need to. Sweepers are going to slow down your balloons to the point that the attack will fail if they're not taken out quickly enough as well. So sweepers are really important to look at. And of course, the level of the air defense is definitely important. If they only have 1 or 2 level 7 air defenses, this attack can still work really well. You just need to be fast. If they just have their level 6 air defense, this is a complete overkill. So you're going to be taking with you 5 lava hounds. You can do this with level 1 lava hounds, but they really should be level 2 if you're expecting 3-star higher defended bases. Those level 2 hounds are pretty cheap considering the other dark upgrades, just 60,000 dark and 10 days to get those hounds. You're also going to want to take 20 loons. I've seen people take 18 loons and 5 minions. You can kind of base that on the base that you're attacking. I think the 20 loons is probably the best way to go, especially because we're going to be using some of those loons to pull the clan castle. These, of course, must be level 6, which is why in my upgrade video on Town Hall 8.5, how to upgrade Town Hall 9, I talk about these being your very first upgrade. Loons are really important and they come in handy in a lot of attacks. And then for your spells, you're going to be taking 4 Rage and 1 Haste. I've known people to try this with 3 Rage, 3 Haste. I wouldn't recommend that just because you definitely need those Rages to help your pups take down the enemy queen. Now, when you're scouting a base and determining if it's going to be good for this PentaLavaLoon attack, what you're going to be looking for is level 6 air defense. If you see level 6 air defense, it's pretty much a guaranteed 3-star. Lower than that, you are really going to have to hold off and be patient on this attack to make sure that at least 3 to 4 of your hounds pop. So look for that. Look for the air sweeper position. You want to make sure that you don't attack in the air sweeper arc. Even with a rage, the loons are slowed down way too much and they're pushed back way too far, then they're not going to be able to get to those defenses in time to help your hounds out. So have an attack plan that's going to take out those sweepers as soon as possible. All right, then the enemy archer queen. She essentially is the 5th air defense. She has to go. If she is on the outside or only behind 1 wall, you can suicide king her. But if she's deeper, you have to have raged pups to take her out. I've heard that if the archer queen can be taken out quickly, they only need 4 hounds to do this attack, but I still prefer to do 5 just to get as much tanking as possible. And then of course, if you see grounded expos. I don't know why people still have some grounded expos during war, but if they do have grounded expos on their base, this attack is just that much easier. When looking for a base that is just optimal for this PentaLavaLoon attack, you're going to want to look for mid-tier air defenses that are equally or close to equally spaced, forming a square in that mid-tier of their base. Now let me explain that. Typically in any base design in Clash of Clans, you're going to have 3 rings of defenses. That's just how it works out. That's the amount of defenses we have, the amount of walls. You typically end up with 3 rings to protect your town hall. Now your inner tier, which is the center of the base, typically has some strong defenses and your town hall. And then you have the outer ring, which is that first ring of outer defenses where typically you see your cannons and your archer towers. And then in between those, that is the mid-tier. Now it's often really popular in base design to put the air defenses in that mid-tier. This protects them from getting picked off really easily in those go low and holo attacks, and it optimally protects all the other defenses by these air defenses. But it also means that all the other defenses, all the defenses in the central inner tier and the outer tier are also protecting these mid-tier air defenses. So if you have hounds that are on those air defenses, it means all the other defenses are turned towards those hounds and targeting them because they too are covering that air defense area. And if that's the case, you have a free pass to snipe all those outer defenses with your balloons just as long as your hounds can hold on. So timing is crucial. You have to be fast before your hounds and your pups die and the defenses turn back on your balloons. You want the defenses always on the lava hounds so the balloons have a free shot at the other defenses. All right, so let's get into exactly how to do the PentaLavaLoon attack strategy. First, you're going to pull the clan castle. Now, before the update, typically you'd go in with the PentaLavaLoon and you would take the clan castle out on the fly using your pups, but now you really need to pull that clan castle. So you're going to do that by picking a defense in the clan castle scout radius, and also you want to pick either an archer tower or wizard tower. Likely it's going to be an archer tower because the wizard towers are typically set back in that mid-tier as well. So if it's in range of an air defense as well, so this archer tower you're going against, if that's also in range of an air defense and the clan castle, you're going to need to send in 3 balloons. If it's not in range of an air defense, just go ahead and send 2. This is going to kill that defense and it's going to be there long enough to pull everything out of the clan castle. Another thing to look for is you want to try and pick a defense that's as far away from the others as possible. That way your loons don't have to go all the way over to it later. Once you have that clan castle pulled out, you're going to drop your archer queen on a corner to lure those clan castle troops to her. Like I said, these days everybody has dragons in the clan castle. Typically you're going to see a dragon with a couple of loons, but no matter what it is, the strategy is basically the same. Let the clan castle dragon hit your archer queen once before you pop her ability. If it's multiple wizards that come out, go ahead and drop your barbarian king on them before they reach your archer queen, and then use her ability early, but you just make sure you don't let those wizards hit your queen. So this ensures that you get the healing benefit from using her ability, but more importantly, and make sure the dragon is the closest thing to her so that when she retargets after using her ability, she's going to target the dragon. Then go ahead and drop your barbarian king right under the dragon so that the dragon's going to target your king, and the dragon's going to stay on him when that archer queen decloaks. If the enemy archer queen is on the outside or just one wall away, do this tactic right by her. She will then hop over the wall to target your barbarian king, who's going to target her. And thankfully, your barbarian king still has some aggression left in him, unlike your archer queen. So make sure to pop his ability to finish off that archer queen. And once she goes down, you're really doing well in this attack because you already have one of the major air defenses down. The only thing you're using your heroes for in this attack is to kill the clan castle. And hopefully the archer queen, but likely that archer queen's going to be set back a little bit deeper and they're not going to get to her. They're still great for cleanup, so the longer they stay alive, the better. But as soon as you've used both of their abilities and the clan castle is dead, go ahead and start the main assault. There's no need to watch your heroes anymore. There's nothing you can do for them. All right, so for your main assault, you're going to attack one side with 2 air defenses and as little interference from sweepers as possible. So that doesn't mean that you're not going to avoid the sweepers. It means you're going to try to attack so you're not going in against the sweepers, blowing right out your hounds and your balloons. You definitely want to get those sweepers down. So really study that base and figure out what the best entry point is going to be for your attack. Now, as you go in, you also want to go where the air defenses are the widest. Remember, we're looking for air defenses that are set up in a square, but not all bases are equally balanced. So if you find you have air defenses that are spread a little bit further from each other on the 1 and 2 than they are on the 3 and 4, make sure that you're going against those 1 and 2, the ones that are spread out further. That means that you can trust that your hounds are going to move from those first 2 air defenses to the final 2 air defenses, staying spread out and equal, continuing to give you a good range of tanking throughout the base. Now, if you reverse that and you go against the air defenses that are closer together, then as your hounds start to go to the final 2 air defenses, there is a likelihood that your hounds could bunch up on you. Air defenses 1 and 2 are likely not to go down at the same time, especially when you consider you have 5 hounds that are going in. So one of those air defenses actually has 3 hounds on it. So if you go in where the air defenses are closer together with your main attack and your hounds are likely to get bunched up. And as one goes down, they will head over to number 2, and then they'll be in a bunch and they'll head to number 3. And that means that the 4th air defense has nothing on it, and that 4th air defense will just sit back and pick off your loons that now have 0 hounds blocking for them. Also, check out where the archer queen is and the air defense that she is closest to. That air defense is the one that you need to send your 3 hounds against, and then 2 hounds to the other one. If the archer queen's already gone and all air defenses are equal, you may want to hold one of those hounds back to send in the back door with some of your balloons. So you're going to want to spread your hounds out when deploying them so they soak up as many traps as possible for your balloons and distract as many defenses as possible. Make sure you don't just drop all 5 of your hounds in a line. They need to spread out and cover a good chunk of the base. Then you're going to want to drop 2 loons per defense so that all defenses on the side you're attacking against are targeted. It's a good idea to hold back on 4 of your balloons to backdoor with when you're needed. So this means you're going to be sending around 16 balloons in your main attack. You want your balloons to move from one side of the base to the other as smoothly and as spread out as possible. If your balloons bunch up too much, which is really easy to do if you kind of just spam them out, they're going to be too slow to get to all the defenses. So I like to do the targeted balloons better, but this also means you're going to have to be really quick at dropping those 2 balloons per defense because you want them to move in fast. As your balloons move in, rage them to the air defense. You don't want these rages to be too shallow or too deep. Your balloons need that rage to get to the air defense and to help all those defenses go down. You're going to use 1 rage per air defense area, and placement is absolutely key. You want it covering as many balloons as possible, which means you want it to cover as many defenses as possible because that's where the balloons are going. A huge concern is the enemy archer queen. She's going to go down to your raged lava pups, so make sure that there is a rage that covers them to take her out. A key to this attack is having raged lava pups to take out the enemy queen. If you don't take out the enemy queen, she will just sit back and shoot everything down. You should plan on using your 3rd and 4th rage to get your balloons through the core and towards those last 2 air defenses. This is where having those few backup balloons are really great to backdoor with. Because often what you're going to find is that your hounds are way ahead of your balloons and they're going to start moving towards the last air defense while your balloons are still playing catch up. This is where you can send your backdoor loons to make sure that the final air defense goes down. Once those last air defenses, and maybe it's just 1, start targeting your hounds, then that's when you're going to send your backup balloons with your haste spell to finish it off. All right, so let's talk about timing issues. You want at least 4 of your hounds to pop for cleanup. Sometimes not getting that 5th hound to pop ends up being a good thing because that means you have a lot of balloons and pups still alive for cleanup. Of course, the best thing possible is getting this final hound to pop right at the end. This can be a very overpowering attack, and you don't want to overdo it, because then your hounds won't pop and you'll end up with a 1-star as you watch these massive hounds move from one defense to another and your loons all bunch up together, taking out one building at a time. This is the tricky part of the strategy, learning to be quick, but also being able to judge when you need to slow down. Just like in so many Clash of Clans 3-star attacks, timing is absolutely critical. But what's unique with this attack is holding off to the right exact moment to drop your spells, just as you often find yourself doing with your clutch Archer Queen. If your hounds are moving to the second pair of air defenses and only one of those has popped, hold off on your third and your fourth rages. You really want those hounds to pop, but you don't want air defense shooting down your balloons. It takes a while to get used to the timing, so keep practicing. Once you get it down, only the high Town Hall 9s are going to give you trouble with this attack. This is a 3-star attack, which means if things go wrong, you're sitting on a 1. All right, that's going to wrap this guide up. If you have any questions or need help with the base you're attacking, be sure to download the Bindle app by going to clashttutor.com/Bindle and get it for your device, and then join the chat room, Clash Tutor. We have almost 1,100 people in that room. Everybody's super cool, really helpful, and that way you can get some help on your attacks where I may be a little bit slow trying to respond to everybody and their comments. I'm also in that room and love talking to you guys and helping you out. Be sure to also tell your clan to subscribe, share this video with them by telling them to go to clashttutor.com/5LL. And again, follow me on Twitter for the latest updates. Follow me on Facebook, and I will catch you next time.